Now, would you leave your comfortable 9 to 5 job to become an entrepreneur? Would you have the heart to quit law to become an entrepreneur? Would you have the heart to leave one of the top 5 companies on the planet to follow in your dream as an entrepreneur? Now, in this conversation, I was honored to hold space with two very talented ladies. One is Dasol Kim, and one is EE. Now, EE didn't believe that, this conversation is going to be seen by a million people. And, I just want to put that out there. I know this conversation is going to hit a million lives because what we've shared in this is really authentic and vulnerable to our own journey. And I know it's going to inspire you to, go on your own entrepreneurial path. So do enjoy, share the episode, and send us some love. So it's 2017, 32 students, one class. How many different countries?
25 different countries.
25 different countries. And the crazy thing about three of us being here is that, all of us more or less made a switch into enrolling in this entrepreneurial program. Yeah, 2 years passed by, we graduated, the world went to hell, COVID. And then we were all faced with very important decisions that, led us to where we are today as entrepreneurs. I know for most of the guests who's listening already know who I am. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Deano Delpleash, and I'm a high performance coach. And I help leaders cultivate bulletproof confidence and double their productivity so that they can live the life that they deserve. Today I have with me two special ladies who I've had the privilege of, sharing time with in school in the similar class, and I'd like to pass it over to EE.
Hello, I'm EE from Singapore. I am right now a tutor specializing in the English and Chinese language. So, now on to Dasol.
Yeah, I'm Dasol Kim from Korea, and I was the only Korean student from our PIGO program. And after graduation, I've been literally going through a lot diverse career journey, working from 4 different job positions and 4 different companies, 4 complete different industries. And right now, I'm working as a career coach, helping individuals to gain courage and clarity to navigate their career journey.
Now it's crazy interesting how we're having this conversation. Yeah, he visited us and we started having conversation about our journey. It was like, we need to talk about this. And what most people may not know about you, E, is that you studied law and that was your career path. So when we had a conversation maybe about 2 years ago and we understand that you were switching, it was like, oh, that's a big move for you. Yeah, and that's all you as well. You make a big move, moving from Mackenzie to running your own coaching and consulting business. And even me myself, from being an engineer to being an entrepreneur now being a coach. And normal people would be like, these people crazy, like why would you do that? Yeah, so the question I want to lead with is when did you know that you needed to make that shift? Like, what was it for you personally?
So, I start first. When I was a kid, it was always study, get the best grades you can, be a lawyer or a doctor, otherwise you're nothing, right? Coming from a very Asian background. So for me, my poison was being a lawyer. I went down that path, worked really, really hard. And after graduation, I stepped into the workforce, tried out being a lawyer. It was not it, right? Sitting in the office made me feel really suffocating.
Oh, wow.
Looking outside, I feel like the birds were freer than I was.
Oh.
So I tried to hold it in there. There was a lot of family expectation, being the first to go to university abroad, right? Doing law for it was such a big thing for my family. So I held it in there, trying to at least, get the lawyer certificate before I bounce. But I just couldn't, right? Just being in a law firm made me feel like, why am I doing this? I'm crying day in and out.
Oh, wow.
Even going to hospital because my body just couldn't take it anymore, right? And when I finally decided, okay, this is not it, I had no support from my family, right? So much investment, so much hope and dreams has been placed into me that it was just crazy. Like, what I heard from around me was, you be screwed, right? If you leave law, your life is over, right? There's nothing you can do anymore. You be doomed for life, right? But at that point, I knew I need to prioritize myself. Yeah, and I sought help from my friends, from even hotline people who would be supportive, on your mental health journey.
Okay.
And then
is there any specific service that you
that
tune in?
I can't remember the one that I actually went to, but there was this person, I've never met her. We're conversing by text because she supports people going through mental health issues.
Oh wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah, for youth. So, and I told her, I was like, there's no one supporting me. My parents, my friends, they don't really understand. They say to hold it in there. And I was like, well, how, right? I just cannot anymore. I really tried. I really, really, really tried. And what she told me was, you need to live for yourself, right? And at that point, I was like, yeah, now I have one supporter, right? And if I don't do this, really, I'm just gonna drive myself to nuts, right? For nothing. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna put in the letter, ignore everyone around me that's saying unsupportive things, and just try one step at a time.
Yeah.
Right. So at that time, my new poison was to go into tutoring, because I started looking at what I was good at doing, what I liked doing, and languages was my thing. Right? I learned languages really quickly. I'm always really interested in learning different languages. So I thought, okay, I shall do that. I'll try. So I picked tutoring to, learn how to teach students who require help in learning English, with help in learning Chinese. And it's been almost 3 years. I don't think I'm gonna leave.
It's crazy because if your parents is watching and listening to this right now, or even people in your parents' generation, they'll be like, so irresponsible. Yeah, and I know I can totally resonate with where you are, and I'm sure Dasol can too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you have invested so much years studying this thing, law. Yeah, and to come to a point where now you're in it and you realize that this thing is suffocating me. It could be hard to let go of that because you feel like you're losing so much. And to come to that point where you now think that, I gotta live for myself. Yeah, I gotta live for myself. And this lady who's just doing this work, that must have made a really big shift for you. Yeah, and I think for me, I didn't have anybody talking to me or telling me any stuff, and I wish I did. However, I think the thought for me was that, it's like, I don't want to be an engineer. Yeah, and I said it 3 times in my head, I don't want to be an engineer, and I didn't know what to do. Yeah, literally didn't know what to do, and then the program Peagle popped up, and I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to do something different. Yeah, and I love how you talk about, you think about, okay, what do I like, what am I good at, and then language. Yeah, it's like, that was like, I love when you say you're on your poison. Yeah. What about you, Dasol? Like what has been your moment of change? Because Mackenzie, bruh.
Come on. Well, actually, like my journey, I really totally resonate with E because I also grew up in a very Asian culture, right? Background. You cannot help being Asian, and it actually my journey starts all the way back, even before I come to Peagle, because when I was in the university, I thought the career is just a linear. Like it's supposed to be a linear. You just get a good grade and get good GPA, and you could do the internship so that you can get a good job, which pays you well, and then you work hard, you get promoted, and then you save up money, you earn money, and then you buy a house, get married, have kids.
Retirement!
Yes. I thought this was like linear journey until, at my first job, I was really, really putting everything in myself. I was grinding, I was so beloved employee. And one day my boss said, hey, Dasol, hear me out. Guess what? The big boss has a really amazing plan for your career, and you're gonna get promoted next month, so keep up with the good work.
Manipulation.
Now we know,
Corporate
right?
manipulation.
Now we know. But at that time, in my age of 22, 23 years old, it was really early age, right? I was supposed to be happy about that, right?
Yeah.
But I got depressed.
Oh.
Ever since then, I got depressed. I don't know why. I was really depressed.
What's wrong with you Asians?
I don't know. I really like a lot of people thought I'm weird because like some people are struggling even to getting a job, and I got this good opportunities. I got really depressed, and one day, at that time at least I had a good habit of going to work out every day. So I was really depressed. One day I went to gym, and actually I couldn't do anything. Like I was so depressed. I was trying to at least do some, movements, but I couldn't do anything. So I just went to the yoga room, pull up the yoga mat, and I just lie down, looking at the ceiling. What am I doing with my life? And just, I think I kind of a little bit fall into sleep. And when I opened my eyes, the yoga class was about to start. That was the first yoga class I've ever attended.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of the class, there was a short meditation session. And the yoga teacher was, breath in, and listen to your inner self. That was one word that really caught me, and I cried so hard in my first yoga class. I've never actually asked myself, what do I really want? I was so caught up with the voices outside talking to me that I've never actually listened to myself. And since then, I quit my job, and that's when I came to China, this P.S program. And since then, my life began to unfold. I was really trying all different things, working in 4 different job positions, 4 different companies, 4 different industries. And in the end, yes, I reached to McKinsey as an HR recruiter, and it was a really amazing journey. And I think every single journey was a path for me to prepare who I am. All I'm thinking, people think that my career, every time, like, why can't you just settle in one job, But for me, it was a journey of discovering myself, and every time I was trying to be the best version of myself and try to discover who I am and who I want to become. And McKinsey was definitely a really amazing opportunity, but that wasn't the end goal for me. I for sure know that there was something else more. It was just a part of the process. And coincidentally, the Shanghai lockdown happened, and I just kind of wanted to really escape from Shanghai. And by force or what, maybe my intention, my subconscious mind having that intention, since then, Shanghai lockdown, I left McKinsey and I opened up my firm here, coaching and consulting firm.
It's interesting, thinking back, for those of you who don't know what PEAGLE is, it stands for Program, Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Global Leadership. And that's more or less what connected to us together. As I'm hearing everybody speaking, I'm thinking, what if that program actually brainwashed us into being this entrepreneur who can stay still in one position and looking for this thing that we're looking for. Like, that was a thought literally that just came to mind, because it looks like we now have this entrepreneurial bug. Yeah, we are running our own businesses. We are growing our own clientele, we are serving our own clientele, and we have ambitions, we have dreams, and we want to create a reality that fits our way of being. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, what when you started, because for me, even though we took a program in entrepreneurship, even after the program, I still didn't think I have everything I need to know as an entrepreneur. And it's only when I actually started my business, that's when I realized, what I learned right now, everything is marketing and sales. Yeah, I remember the first business coach I hired to help me launch my online coaching business, fitness coaching business. I thought I'm going to learn how to help people lose weight, like more deep knowledge. All I learned was sales and marketing. And ever since I've been learning new modalities of coaching, from NLP, high performance habits, and I've been reading. However, at the end of the day, the success of my business comes back to those two things, sales and marketing. Yeah, and that has been one of the, I won't say it's been a challenge, but it's been one of the biggest growth moment for me as an entrepreneur. Learning sales and marketing, like how to find clients, how to get clients. That was one of my biggest challenges. So my next question for both of you would be, during your entrepreneurial journey, after making that decision of, leaving the traditional way of living behind and going on this path, what was some of your major challenges personally, whether internally or externally?
I think once I decided, okay, I have to do my own thing, a lot of it was, how do I sustain myself, right? Because with a job, it's easy.
I
Yeah,
know.
The salary every month,
Yeah.
the predictability of
Listen,
it all.
that's the drug, that's the
Right.
cocaine.
And you stop.
Because this is
You
salary.
stop.
Yeah, because you.
How long did it last? That feeling
Wow,
of.
that feeling, maybe, I don't know, half a year even. Like, this every month, you know that this paycheck is coming
certain.
in, you'll be fine. All of a sudden, you are like, 1 month is this amount, the next, it goes
my
down all the
gosh.
way.
Yeah.
You are like, what is happening? Like, and there's such a huge temptation to just leap back.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh
just
my
go back.
God.
I have
Oh
my
my
degree.
gosh.
That's exactly
I
why.
know,
It's
I
exactly
know.
why my parents paid for this, kind of. Or whatever what I've been studying so far. This is my backup plan.
I know.
Right? Isn't it just easier to go back? But then when
The
you
lie we
think
tell to
back,
ourselves, huh?
yeah, you go back, what? Then get depressed all over again.
Yeah.
Right? So I think money was a real thing, and also
Yeah.
asking people for money.
Yeah.
That was such a it
Oh.
felt like begging, right?
Oh,
and,
yes.
and we're not used to. I don't know. I think we're all independent people. We don't like asking for help, and especially begging for money is like even 10 steps lower. So that was like, oh my god, I'm asking people for money. Like, am I worth it?
When you say
Can I?
begging, oh my gosh, you make it sound so bad. But that's a great point.
Yeah. So I think what I really had to get over was myself, that actually I'm worth this value that I'm asking for. Right? What I'm actually doing for people, it's doing people good.
Yes.
They're saving time, they're saving money, they're getting my expertise, and I'm
Yes.
worth this price.
Yes,
Right?
girl, you're a lawyer. You're studying to be a lawyer. One thing I really love about you, Ian, during our program, you would go through those case studies like knife to cheese, and
I know.
I'm like, my gosh, we have 4 case studies, and I remember this one day we're going back to the room, and I'm like, everybody's talking about reading it. We gotta present tomorrow, and he's like, "Oh, I finished." I'm like, "How long did it take?" She's like, "Oh, in law school, we
We do
having
this
more
every
than
day.
it."
Yeah.
So definitely, you're more than worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I think one more thing other than money, it's problem solving skills.
Oh yeah.
Because literally, there's nothing you will ever learn that will help you. It doesn't repeat itself, in a way. But there's trends and patterns that you kind of discern over time. And whenever you meet a challenge, you think quick on the spot. That's what I really learned throughout this entrepreneurial journey. Like anything I saw, it was like, okay, just calm down, it'll be solved.
Like we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into this more that there's a solution to every problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly,
Whether it's
yeah.
finance, whether it's sales,
Definitely.
marketing,
Yes.
dealing with client, there's a
Yes.
solution. That mindset really
Yeah.
digged in. And I love the fact that you hit on the point of, am I worth it? Yeah, having to ask people for money for that thing that you really want to give to the world. And even though there's proof written somewhere in a book that what you offer is valuable, there's a part of you just have that self-limiting thought that
yeah.
really, hinders you from asking. I think that was one of my biggest trip up as well. And I think yesterday we were having a conversation about, clients and how much we charge. And I can remember I was doing sales calls, 60-minute sales calls for an offer that was like 400 and something RMB. Yeah, and now thinking about it, I'm like, my gosh, all that time I'm using just for 400 RMB. It's unbelievable. But that was a learning moment for me. And today, when I think of how much I charge clients, I remember the first client when I made an ask of 12k RMB, and that client said yes. That was the biggest confidence booster, because now it reinforced to me that, oh wow, there's people who would invest this amount in me. That means they believe in my work And this is somebody who didn't even know me like that. Yeah, just meeting me, for experiencing me. And the number of what you can ask for, it's limitless.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love it. When you came, you were talking about it. You're always testing to see, what's the limit? What's the limit?
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, if it's within somebody's power to make that investment, they would. If it's not, they won't.
And also, it's the pain point.
Yes.
How
pain point.
How much pain is it causing?
And how are you committed? How committed are you to solve this? How painful it is.
Yeah. If you're just giving some like cheap, offer, you're just gonna attract a bunch of clients who are just in there for the cheap.
Exactly. It's really about attracting the right set of clients. And I told you about this, right? I was really sick and tired of always begging for money. So I try to, and then people always say no to my price when they are really excited about it. Once I tell the price, they were really like, they say, oh, I'll think about it. So I try to really lower the price and do a group coaching. And this was like ridiculous price. Like if you don't buy it, like it's so ridiculous, like 400 RMB kind of ridiculous. And then still people say no. So that's when I got the message. People will always say no. Whatever the price you say, whatever the number you say, like you just gotta find the people who are gonna say yes to that.
Oh my gosh. And we're still on the journey. Finding that group of people who need your solution, where they are ready to say yes, they have that pain, and they really know the value in what you're offering is such an important part of this journey.
It's also we are finding ourselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We're doing this because
Exactly.
in the beginning we don't even know
what
we're
doing.
To be
You gotta
honest.
start from somewhere. What I learned from entrepreneur journey is that I really love this quote from one of the and she's one of my friends as well. She said, what she like about entrepreneurship is that no matter if you fail or succeed, you learn from it and you grow from it. And it's not about from A point to B point where you want to go. It's not a straight line. But as long as you are heading to the direction is what's important. You're going to have ups and down, right? And then some pivot and like that. The first thing that I learned proper about entrepreneurship is actually not from our Pigo program, but from the Shenzhen Accelerator program we attended. And there, in the accelerator program, it was 2 months program. We literally learned more than 2 years what we learned. And then the first thing that was shocking for me is that you can pivot. At that time it was shocking for everybody. We come up with some business ideas, we pitch in front of the investors, and it's reaction is not good. So you can pivot, and it's this is my baby.
I know.
This is my baby. How can I pivot? How can I change? Throw this away and start new. But it's normal.
And that's why when I see people who get so attached to an idea, that's why I cringe now, because I already understand your idea means nothing.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's about pain. What kind of pain are you want to solve? And whatever the idea, there might be many means that you can solve that pain, right?
And I think another thing we're talking about is really finding our niche. That's also a pivot. You don't need to only pivot your product, but you can pivot the people who you're serving.
Exactly.
Because sometimes the product that you have, the offer that you have to one market, it may cost maybe $10. But to another market, to them, they'll value it at maybe $100,000. That's really interesting. And one thing I was saying, our biggest competitive advantage of being here in China is learning how to learning how to really take action and change quick. I think that's one of the biggest competitive advantage here. Because a lot of entrepreneurs who maybe before I know entrepreneurship, I want to have everything figured out. I want to know my accounting. I want to make sure I build the product. I want to
prepare everything before I launch something, right?
That is a recipe for failure, disaster, not getting anything done.
That's why China has so many amazing entrepreneurs. They first execute, learn from it, and upgrade, and then execute again, repeat and repeat and repeat.
So what's next, guys? What's next? What lies ahead?
What lies ahead? Our future.
What if there's no future? And the future is always today, right? I've always been told, okay, you know, you have to plan for your future. You have to do things now so that in the future it will be great. But really, what's the future? Do you really know what's going to happen even tomorrow? I didn't even know I was going to come for this podcast. I planned this trip 3 months ago. Talked to these two amazing people in my life. Say, hey, I'm going to come to your place. And when I arrived, let's do a podcast. I'm like,
When? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, right? And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Right? So we don't know, but I think have an open mind and heart to try things out.
Be curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is your future.
Yeah.
You're living your future right now.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think instead of preparing the future, the most important thing is about you understanding who you are, the best version of yourself, and then who you want to become. And that's it, because in between there should be so many unexpected things coming up. But as long as you're living the best version of yourself, and as long as you're opening up your eyes with an excitement, with a living heart, you know, that's fine actually. That's really fine. I think that's everything.
Yeah, and the idea for future makes sense because it gives us a reference point. But honestly, we don't want to achieve our goals or get that thing, because when we do get it, like what's next?
What's next?
That is always that question.
Literally.
Yeah, and I love this creator. His name is Chris Do, and his company is literally called The Future, and their tagline is "The future is now." Yeah, and one the thing I'll tell my clients is that, you know, the goal is not the distant shore. Yeah, the goal is who you're becoming while you're out on sea. And one of our favorite books, I'm not sure if you read this book, The Alchemist. Yeah, the main theme in that book is, you know, going on that journey and learning, becoming somebody more, finding the treasure right where you started. Yeah, so I think when we go on this journey of entrepreneurship, as you said, we are learning more about ourselves. And when we go through this journey of obstacles, overcoming, you know, fighting the dragon, overcoming, we are becoming someone who will be able to create goal from the place that we started. And that could be right in our house. It could be maybe in our country. It could be in our neighborhood. Or it could be in the life of, you know, our next generation. So yeah, what's next is, you know, us becoming the best version of ourselves as we show up, you know, courageously and with an open heart and and ready to take on what's ahead.
And I think here the most important thing is really about the people who you are going journey with.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Because they're gonna shape who you are.
Yeah.
And so one of the best thing that I make a decision when I started my entrepreneurship journey was hiring my own coach. Because I decided to stop listening to other people's voices that I don't aspire to become, right? And I began to, once I hired a coach, he's not telling me what to do, but he's letting me listen and focus on what I want to do, because I know I have all the answer. I have all the answer. We all have our own answer, and that's the discovery journey. So that's also the reason why we get up and have a conversation. This conversation is because we want to have more conversation with the like-minded people, so that we make sure that where we're going is okay, you know, whatever we're doing.
And another thing I'll also challenge us to do is also have conversation with people who are not like us. Yeah, because it would also reinforce what we don't want.
Exactly.
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki said he has a lot of friends. He have rich friends and he have poor friends. Yeah, so he hang out with his rich friends, so he know what to focus on. He hang out with his poor friends, so he know what not to focus on. Yeah, because sometimes I think people like us, sometimes we can get trapped in the cloud and we need to come back down to earth to create that balance.
Definitely.
So it's a beautiful dance between these two realms, because I don't think there's any right or wrong way. Yep. If you do enjoy having a 9-to-5 job and that brings your life,
definitely,
that's beautiful, because don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive. Because what the world needs is more of us who have came to life.
More of us living as who we are. You know? If everybody just live as who we are, there's no right or wrong answers, right? There's no right or one set of answers. We just gotta live who ourselves are.
And truly be authentic to yourself and true to yourself. I think that's really, I don't know, the recipe for happiness, for contentment, like how you really want to be accountable to yourself and honor yourself.
Yeah. When I'm listening to you, each of you speak, I'm thinking of the person who's listening to this and they're like, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I don't think I can do that. It's so hard, because I've had clients meet people who have that thought process, like, be my most authentic self, but the world has been telling me that I should be like this. I should be quiet and don't speak up even though I see something is going wrong, or I shouldn't interrupt people when they're speaking, etc. All the beliefs that we've had. What would you say to somebody like that?
I think take small steps. Making big changes is scary. I think it's scary for anyone, right? So try things out in bits and pieces. Start a side hustle, try on a new hobby, and slowly just, taking one step at a time. Don't expect so much change within a short period of time. That's just too much burden, and also you have so much time. People were living to 100 sure. Given
we're
how
in such
things
a
are,
hurry.
right? We're just rushing and rushing,
so that we can die early.
Exactly, so that we get cancer and sit in the hospital. Really, people were really living to 100. I'm convinced.
That's true.
Especially if you're in Asia,
For me, I want to say just meet as much as people as you can. What really opened up my eyes is not about me leaving Korea, but me leaving Korea is out of my comfort zone. I first stepped outside of my comfort zone and came and studied with 32 students from 25 different countries, so many different perspectives, so many different type of lives that I thought there is one set of life, but outside of the world, actually, there's so many diverse life. So talk as much as possible. Actually, every time I'm lost, I always arrange a coffee shop with all different type of people and hear their stories, and I feel like, I'm just normal, there's so many diverse stories, and there's two things. Like, one is talking to a lot of people, and some clients like, I'm introvert, I'm not really good at outreaching people. What I recommend to do is, second, the easiest way. You don't need to talk to a lot of people. Just go to LinkedIn, search a lot of diverse people, see their career progressions. It's not just one way straight. Some people are like you, from lawyer to entrepreneur, like for me kind of people, from different positions, sales to marketing and HR recruiter, student recruiter, and they're still so good, they're still exploring, and that is also exploring the different world.
And I even want to challenge that excuse of being an introvert. Because I'm an introvert, and people don't know I'm an introvert until they come to my house and know me.
Absolutely. That's what I found out.
So, and there's a lot of people who are, you got to know how to, it's a communication issue. Really invest in yourself. Find books, start reading, hire a coach. Really understand as we are saying, these voices in our head. A lot of these voices are not even your voices, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, some aunt. So really find the help you need in private, and understand that your desire to want to recharge by yourself, with yourself all the time, that's part of who you are. However, you also have a desire to want to share your truth with the world, and that's also a part of who you are. And I think it's important for us to start embracing all part of who we are. Even the voices in our head that is negative, embrace those voices and question them, challenge them. What's not true about this? That makes sense. And I think one of the things that we tend to do is we shy away from our own internal critic. And when we shy away from it, it's like it just stays there. We don't try to rationalize it or really question it. But when we reveal our internal critic to ourselves, we realize, this actually doesn't make sense. Yes. Well, E, thank you so much for passing through home, girl.
Thank you so much for having this amazing conversation. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad I took a new step. Something new again.
It's really fascinating because we've been seeing each other. I met E in Singapore. It was 5 years ago. And when did you guys last meet?
It's
like,
been
is a graduate, was still
Yeah.
2019,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, same around like 5 years.
Yeah.
And seeing how we all grew,
Yeah.
but we still very,
We're still like kids. It's
Yeah.
like,
I
When I met you, I feel like I met you yesterday.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's with like-minded people.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep in touch every day.
Yeah. But
literally
when we do meet, it's like
Yeah,
it's like
it's like
magic.
Exactly. It clicks immediately.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the conversation. Yeah.
And one thing we promise that this episode is gonna be my most popular episode. It's gonna hit 1 million views, and E think nobody's gonna see this, but she's
Oh.
lying. So prove her wrong, guys.
Yeah.
But I think we have arrived. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you.
Big up yourself and let's get it. You've heard the stories and strategies of today's top tech CEOs. But where do you fit in? What's your unique superpower as a founder? Now take our free CEO type quiz to unlock your leadership blueprint and gain insights to maximize your potential. Now go to levelupwithdeano.com and take just 3 minutes to complete this quiz. Instantly receive a detailed report revealing your CEO type along with a personalized 3-phase plan for achieving abundance and freedom on your term. Are you a visionary, a driver, an analyst, community builder, or self-improver? Take the quiz now and own your entrepreneurial journey. Discover what makes you tick as a founder and learn to lead from your sweet spot for success. That's www.levelupwithdeano.com. Spelling matters. Make sure you get it right. Take the quiz and start leading on your term, your way. This is your key to freedom, and go and get it. Levelupwithdeano.com.